Welcome to Highway to Helms in 3, 2, 1.
Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find a pearl. I love the way I'm living, is what I holler to the world. Wake up in my bed and I'm feeling kinda stuck from this Tempur-Pedic mattress. I don't wanna get up. Roll out of bed, plant my feet on the floor.
Should just let that play all the way through one time.
Get me dancing over here.
Yeah, I caught you twice on there. Probably should have told you, but look it. Anyway, that song, as everybody knows, is by MVP, who is on Twitter at, it's either the 305 MVP or it's the MVP 305. It's one of those two.
What is MVP doing these days?
VPN.
You see MVP?
You see VP. He's man, he ain't doing nothing. He's enjoying fun employment is what he calls it.
I don't see his name on wrestling shows too much.
He don't. He did a little stint in New Japan, and he's he was really smart with his money and stuff. I guess he escaped the stock market crash, which fucking beat my ass to death. But
yeah, I didn't come out too good on that my damn self.
I'm still suffering over that motherfucker. Why'd they do it to me?
I don't know.
They broke it off in me. Deep.
Oh yeah.
Deep.
That's not what that guy was saying.
I can't even eat it.
My money,
I can't even eat at Chick-fil-A no more. They broke it off in me so deep.
Damn it, man.
That was a timed joke.
It just wasn't time for it.
It wasn't time for it. Anyway, let's thank the sponsors real quick. As always, we got to thank ShaneHelms.com. I got to be a sponsor for this thing. Let me take the title off so people can see this. We're also going to put this to straight to audio. This will be an audio one. But the people that have video, which are the people that are watching this, will be able to see this on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Anyway, Figure4Apps.com, as always, longtime sponsor of the show. They produce the still only official pro wrestler app. Actually, it seems like somebody else is trying to come out. Well, The Rock's got one now, and I think he does some kind of crazy shit. But still the first. I beat him at this too.
So The Rock's stealing your shit.
That motherfucker. He can have it. I'm a wrestling fan. Of course, everybody that knows me knows about this. Find all your local wrestling shows, not just WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, but find everything as long as the promoters submit it to us. If you're a wrestler, if you're a promoter, submit your event to the I'm a Wrestling Fan app, available on Apple and Android, and we'll get it up there for you. Thousands of fans have downloaded this. It's free publicity, something like that, promotional stuff. Anyway, same concept for MMA promoters and fighters. I'm a fight fan. Same concept for NASCAR and racing fans, and same concept for Comic Cons. And I actually just announced yesterday I'll be at the Miami, Florida Comic Con, July the 4th. Got to thank HotSpots.com. As always, anything you need, your paraphernalia, your DVDs, your action figures, your championship belts, or if you just need a slap in the mouth, they might help you out with that too. Don't forget, support the sport of wrestling. East Wake High School, May 25th, 2013. Doors open at 6 p.m. Omega, the best independent organization there has ever been.
And the last name in professional wrestling.
And the last name, I like that. Who came up with that?
That was me.
That would be you. There we have it. And boom, Big Daddy Mike Maverick. Let's bring back up the title. As I said before, this is on iTunes going forward. What we're doing with this is that it will be for audio on iTunes, and then if you want to watch the video, that will be on the YouTube channel, which is ShaneHelms.com. Big surprise there. I try to keep it easy for people.
That way people can listen to it in their car without crashing.
Yeah, I always ever since we've talked about this before, a lot of guys do audio, and and I've always done video, and I didn't want to go backwards and take away video just because it seems like that's a step backward. Technology will eventually catch up with me, but a lot of times, among other things. But a lot of times when if you're watching a video in certain apps and certain phones, they can't do other things at the same time.
Like Drive?
Well, especially like Drive. I would assume you're not driving and watching a video. But like I listen to podcasts when I'm on the treadmill, and I can also sit there and kind of scroll through my phone and look at other stuff if I'm on a bike or something, multitasking. So the video pod isn't conducive to multitasking, so we're going to have audio and video available for you, and we figured that was the best way to go. So yeah, so iTunes will have the audio version, the YouTube will have the video version. Apple iTunes. Well, I think if you got an Android, can you download iTunes yet?
Probably, but I don't know if, like everything else on Android if it'll work like it's supposed to.
Seems like I should know that. Seems
I
like
used to
that should
have
be
an
something I
Android.
know. What?
I used to have an Android.
Like a real Android or a phone?
I'll have both.
How do you feel about it? I'm fucking turning into an Android.
You're the one that taught me into getting rid of it. You don't remember that thing?
Oh yeah, thing was a hunk of shit.
Yeah, that plastic piece of shit.
Plastic piece of shit.
Yeah. Now we got the iPhone.
You got the 5
Scared.
or the
No,
4?
this is a 4.
Yeah.
I went out and got this phone, and Victoria told me, she said, don't go get a phone. I said, why? And she said, the 5 is coming out any day. I said, nah, I gotta have one now. Come home with this thing. Commercial comes on the TV. Get your Android, or get your iPhone 5 now.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the Verizon store.
You got the 4 or the 4S?
4.
See, I always like, I got the 4S now, and I'll get the 5 when the 5S comes out.
Do you use Siri?
No.
I think that's the only difference, isn't it?
Well, I still got Siri on mine, but the bitch can't understand me. Human beings can't understand me. Well, I'm expecting this phone to understand me. Huh? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Anyway, man, I know we haven't had an episode up in a while. Man, been busy. I got shit to do. We got-
Planning support the sport.
Yeah, we have been.
The return of Omega.
Omega main event. Matt Hardy and myself. What is this? Matt Hardy and myself against C.W. Anderson and Steve Carino. Dim mother.
Did you hear them talking all that shit?
What are you talking about?
Some put something up your damn nose.
What was that?
A sword, I think it was.
A sword up my nose?
Yeah.
What are they in middle school?
I don't know.
I expect much better shit talking out of those two.
Yeah, I kind of didn't see that one coming myself.
Up my nose?
Up your nose.
I wear a mask. How you gonna get to my nose?
He said he was going to cut the mask off.
Well, that's just
He
not
says
very
he
nice
hates
at
you.
all. You know what I think about that?
Damn.
Right.
I believe
Who said that?
Karina said he hates your ass.
I hate this
Always
fat ass.
has.
Motherfucker.
He said the king of old school.
Beady-eyed motherfucker.
He's got a sword that apparently he got from Khan the Warlord. And he
How
said-
does he get this sword through customs?
It's probably a good question. Just carry on.
So he's gonna bring a sword to a gunfight?
Exactly.
We don't do background checks,
You got
man.
the
Just get a
guns?
gun. There's the gun. Goodness gracious. Speaking of guns, the background check thing got shot down. How you feel about that?
You know that I believe in the Second Amendment,
Uh-huh.
but I also believe in common sense.
Correct.
I mean, everybody, you know, these issues come up, and it's like half the people go over here, and the other half go over here. If they could just kind of, I mean, nobody wants gun violence. I mean, I can see people that feel they have the right to keep arms to protect themselves, but some maniac going into a public place and shooting people, who can say that anybody's for that?
Right.
What does a background check hurt you if there's nothing in your background that's going to turn up on a check? If I want to buy a gun, check my background. Give me a psychological test. I don't care. Make people go to training to own firearms. I'm all for all that shit. I mean, arming irresponsible, psychotic public people is not a good idea in my opinion.
There was something that came out right after the background check thing got shut down that it was like from 2010 and 2012 or whatever, that 247 people that were on the terrorist list
Bought guns
bought
legally.
guns. And these motherfuckers are on the terrorist list. It's not like they jaywalked and did some crazy shit. They're on like the worst list I think you should be on
There's
as
certain,
far as being a gun owner.
there's certain things that I don't understand about how they. I mean, every gun's got a serial number on it.
Right.
Why is it hard to track them? I mean,
Don't they file that shit off something?
I don't know, but I mean, whoever buys the gun in the first place ought to be responsible for what happens to it. I mean, if it gets stolen, you should have to report it stolen. You know, if somebody gets caught with a gun and they pull the serial number on it, they ought to be able to go back and see who bought the thing originally, and then go back to that person and say,
What the
"How
fuck
did
you do with it?"
Yeah, what'd you do with the gun? And if you sell a gun to somebody else, and see, that's like the gun show loophole that they talk about.
Uh-huh.
Is, you know, if I go down there to Dick's Sporting Goods and want to buy a Glock,
You said dicks.
they put me through the ringer. You know, background check, 3-day wait, you know, whatever they do. But there's nothing to stop me from walking out on the sidewalk and selling it to the first person I see. Or taking it to a gun show.
You know who's done that right in front of you?
What would that
Remember,
be?
I just wanted to buy an accessory for my gun, and some guy wanted to buy it.
Yeah, for like twice What, he could have went over there to the table and bought one for
Yeah,
him?
but for some reason he didn't want to buy it inside.
Because he's a murderer?
Probably. I don't even mess with mine anymore. I got them. They're close by my bedroom. If I need to, if somebody breaks in my shit, they're gonna have a bad day. But I don't carry them around in my house and car. And man, if I gotta carry guns around, man, I just don't want to go to places where I gotta carry guns around.
It's just one of them things. You never know. You know, I mean, you know, people that leave their guns laying around and kids get them and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that
that
happens all the
just,
fucking time.
That's just irresponsible.
Hmm.
But that'd be like anything else. That'd be like, you know, taking the cover off that outlet in the wall with wires hanging out of it and Sebastian crawling over there and getting them. You know, it's just irresponsible. It's leaving something dangerous where a child can get to it.
Why would they do it?
Why would they do it? Why would they do it? But everything that makes me sick in this country is how anytime there's an issue,
You fucking hate it.
fucking hate it. No, every time there's an issue about something, I mean, this gun thing is serious because children were killed.
Right.
You know, and people were killed in a movie theater that were trying to watch a fucking movie. You know, it's not some political thing for, you know, to throw heat on Barack Obama or him to try to start some shit with the Republic. It's just stupid. I mean, they need to get together and come up with solutions to make this situation
Well,
better.
the story, when the story's out, is that some guy, and I'm going off the Daily Show, and obviously the Daily Show is, they lean to the Democratic side a little bit more, obviously. But there's talking about how there was some guy that was like, you know, big high up in the Republican Party side of things, and he's like, we don't want to agree with them on anything. Because if we agree with them on anything, it'll be a success for Obama. So even if it's something that's blatantly, I mean, it was over 90% of the country agreed that they wanted background checks as far as the citizens. 90%. Obviously, the citizens want it. That should be a fucking, why do we even need these guys? If they do that kind of poll, or that kind of survey, or whatever they did, why do we got to go through these assholes now?
What
And then they shut it down.
The Republicans control what? The House?
I don't fucking know. They control my damn nerves.
Yeah, control my nuts. I don't know. It's stupid.
Anyway, enough of that. But
You know, and you know the basketball player Jason Collins comes out and says he's gay.
Mhm.
It just starts all these political things where these people are over here saying how bad it is, and these people are over here saying how great it is, and they just need to kind of bring that shit together and leave everybody the fuck alone.
they always in somebody's business.
I
Who
don't
cares
care
if
what-
the guy's
I
gay?
don't care what that motherfucker does.
Motherfucker's a ball handler.
He, you know, what can you expect?
That's a softball. Yeah, I mean, good for him.
Well,
You know,
I
that
mean,
don't bother me.
You know, I don't care about it one way or the other. I mean, I don't think the guy should be persecuted, and I don't think he should be a national hero either. He's just a guy living his life.
No, I mean, I can see though that that community, it ain't like that community hasn't been trampled on for fucking decades. So finally, somebody being brave enough to come out, I can see, you know, him getting a pats on the back, maybe pats on the ass, you know, whatever. It should be
Whatever he
applauded
likes.
a little bit, you know.
Whatever their kind likes.
So
No, people worry too much. I mean, all these fuckers with this gay marriage shit. Because, you know, I'm a Christian, and, you know, I publicly said I voted that gay people should be able to get married if they want to. And all these other Christians come out and go, oh, yeah, the Bible
Hey.
says.
Adam and Eve didn't get married.
You know, but they're saying the Bible says, and I'm sitting
Y'all
there
ever
going,
think about that? Adam and Eve didn't get married.
You know, I know.
There was no preacher. Where the preacher? They the only two motherfuckers on earth.
What about that snake?
A motherfucking snake. A talking snake. They had a talking snake, but they didn't have a preacher. How'd they get married?
My point was,
What is your point?
the Constitution clearly says
Clearly.
that laws will not be passed based on Christian beliefs.
There you have it.
So that argument just flies right out the window. But you tell these people something else about, you know, another kind of belief or something. Oh, by God, oh, the Constitution. That's what they want to talk about. Constitution. You want me to quote?
I think that, I think when the Constitution was written, I don't think those guys wrote, you know, typed. They had typewriters, you know, with the feather pen on. I don't think they fucking, you know, made this and like this is going to be how it is for the rest of eternity. I mean, they created something new. They didn't like things were. They didn't like the way things were, so they created something new. They changed things. I don't think they made this and say, all right, this is the way it's going to be for the rest of eternity.
Well,
I mean, they couldn't. They weren't
Yeah.
fortune tellers. They couldn't
they had
foresee.
slaves back then.
Yeah, they had slaves. Slaves were fine for them.
Yeah, and
That was their
you know,
thing.
and then
Obviously,
they amended the Constitution and abolished slavery. So there you have it.
no, yeah. I mean, things change. I mean, this ain't 1700s no more.
And
Okay.
the whole argument too about a lot of these these overzealous gun owners want to use the the argument that they should have the right to bear arms so they can take over the government if they have to.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
talked
that'll
about that.
fucking happen.
Yeah, motherfuckers, they got stealth bombers, tanks,
And you got
and now they got
12
drones.
gauge.
Now
Yeah.
they got drones.
They don't even have, they'll be up there playing with the damn Xbox controller and blow your ass up out in the front yard when you're running around with that shotgun.
I think my
Shooting
Xbox,
at shit.
my Xbox thing, I think has a damn Big Brother eyeball in that fucking thing, looking at me at all times.
What happens? You open it up and it's
Just a little person in there.
what, that guy from the pay-per-view that night?
Anyway, fuck it. What can you do? I mean, the government's going to get you. They're going to get you.
Yeah.
They
You might as well just open the front door and go like this.
Nah, I ain't fighting them motherfuckers.
Yeah,
They just threw Lauryn Hill's ass right in jail.
There you have it.
She ain't paid some taxes. The government isn't paying their money. They don't pay their bills. But
Right,
you don't pay
you go get
yours,
some money.
your ass go to jail.
Off you go. Her and Wesley Snipes.
Why do you do it? Anyway, you been catching up on Raw?
Yeah, I was watching it. I think I saw most of it.
This past week, what even happened?
You know, it's hard. You asked me that, and I've watched the show. And those shows are so much alike.
Oh, definitely. Week to week.
Yeah, and it's just like it all kind of blurs together.
My short attention span ain't what the fuck no more either.
Not when you're watching 3 hours of wrestling either.
Or my short-term memory.
Or my short-term wiener. I'm trying to think who do you think, let me ask you a question. We've had that discussion before about the difference between a great technical wrestler in the ring versus an overall performer.
Uh-huh.
Like comparing Chris Benoit to Hulk Hogan, for instance.
Right.
Who do you think the best technical performer on Raw is right now?
Technical?
Just in the ring, shit looks good, looks real, whatever, however you want to put it.
Probably, either if you're going for just technique and stuff, you got to go with Daniel Bryan, Swagger. You ain't gonna beat his technique. That motherfucker take your ass off.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler. Khali. Oh wait, never mind. Scratch that one. It'd be hard to beat Daniel Bryan as far as just technique.
Yeah, I could agree with that, but you know who I think it is?
Who?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy. Yeah, I didn't think about Randy. Yeah, Randy.
You know why I
Randy's
say
definitely up
that?
there. Yeah.
Because, like, two of my favorite guys from, all time, when you're just talking about, maybe not the whole package of, being a big media celebrity, but just being wrestlers in the ring that are good,
Right.
are Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I think Randy's got that quality where he just some of the little things he does them different.
Yeah.
And he does them in a way where they look real.
His detail works awesome.
Yeah, I was watching him. He was wrestling.
It's all in the detail, young guys listening. It's all in
like
the
Bret
details.
Hart, he doesn't really go out there and do anything spectacular. It's just, when he takes a turnbuckle or, whatever, he just does it. And same thing with Mr. Perfect. They just got a way of selling a shoulder tackle where it's like, damn,
Yeah.
cool. But I was watching Randy. He wrestled Damian Sandow.
Sandow.
And he's not just doing the same mechanical bumps like everybody else does, where they all look the same. He's got his own little twist to it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, Randy's definitely great.
He's probably lacking something. I don't know. He's made it he's been the champ and stuff before, right?
Yeah.
But he's not really stuck in that top spot like, say, John Cena did.
Right.
And he's obviously a much better wrestler than John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes back to show you the whole charismatic personality thing and how important that is. Because a lot of people rag on Cena and they're like, oh, he sucks. I'm like, yeah, his fucking paycheck ain't sucking.
No, he puts them in the seats.
And he's how long's he been the top guy there? 10 years?
He's been there for a long damn time.
Yeah, that's longer than Hogan and guys like that were on top of that one company. So maybe he hadn't been the champ the whole time, but he's definitely arguably been the top guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn impressive.
He gets it done when it's time, man. When the red light's on.
See, that was something because they brought him into Louisville when I was there, and I had seen him. He had a tryout match, and it actually wasn't even his tryout. It was this other dude from that group in California where they all used to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, I can't remember his name. You might know him. He was smaller than Cena. Cena was huge for that tryout. He's twice the size he is now. When he had that one tryout.
Okay.
But
so he was 400 pounds at the time.
He looked like somebody off that damn Mike Tyson Punch Out game.
Right.
But this other guy, which the guy had long blonde hair, and he was like some big shot out there. Looked like Tarzan or something. I can't remember his name now.
Tom Howard.
No, it wasn't him. It was this guy was probably about 225 pounds. He was in good shape, but he wasn't like huge, and he just had long blonde hair.
And he looked like Tarzan.
Yeah, he just had that long, real long hair like Edge and Christian used to have.
Oh, okay.
But it was his tryout, and for
Did
some
he
reason,
wear leopard tights?
I don't remember what that bitch wore.
Was he barefoot?
Could have been. But Cena was the one that I guess caught everybody's attention. I didn't think he was that great at the time because he was just out there like no selling everything and flexing after every move and all that stuff,
Right.
just doing that straight muscle head kind of stuff. And I'm like, we've all seen that 1,000 times.
And this is when he was prototype.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had like this little crazy flat top haircut. And then I ended up going to Louisville after that, and he showed up down there, and he had lost a lot of size. And but he looked about like he looks now, but he was just like he was huge when he came in for that tryout. So I guess somebody told him to slim down or possibly change his diet. But I remember him cutting a promo when he first came in. He had Cornette and all them guys popping for that promo, and it was just something he went out there and did.
Right.
And I was like, man, that guy's pretty good with the mic, because I wasn't expecting to hear that. And they put him with Rico Constantino. You remember him?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Rico was always good with the mic. And they just went out there and tore up this promo. But then he would wrestle, and I was like, he's all right. But he surprised me as well as he's done.
Right.
But I'm happy for him because I like him.
I mean, sometimes simple works. Superman's pretty simple. Shit works.
Well, it's just you remember when they first brought him on TV? He was like just John Cena, right? A little pair of blue trunks or something.
Right.
And then they put him in that hip hop gimmick with Bull Buchanan.
You know he had a different pair of boots and tights for every city.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he would. If it was Boston, he would show up in the green and the white. If it was like fucking, I don't know, Pittsburgh, it'd be black and yellow.
I like
He
that.
had more like boots. He would show up every week and it'd be a different pair of tights. I was like, how many fucking? Like, I would like to see if he still has them. I don't know if he does, but
Probably. But
I was in the limousine. Ever tell you this story? I was in the limousine with Vince and Bruce Pritchard when Bruce was trying to explain the freestyle rapping gimmick to Vince. Because we were.
was that Bruce's idea?
No. Cena would just do it. It was his personal thing.
I remember he used to do that rapping shit, like just cutting up in the
Yeah,
dressing room
yeah.
and
He would
stuff.
say, "Hey man, rap about a bag of chips, some Mountain Dew, this computer, and this statue back here, and put it all together." And he would do it. And it'd be
Well,
like, damn.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah, he'd be fucking. He was good too. I mean,
Yeah.
off the top of his head, that's some witty, intelligent shit. And anyway, Bruce was explaining it to Vince, and I remember Vince over there had just looked like, "What in the fuck are you talking about?" And I was just like, "I've heard him. He's really good." You know, I'm putting my 2 cents in like they mean a fucking thing. But I was like, "I've heard him. You know, I'm a hip hop fan. He's pretty damn good." And Vince is going, and I didn't really, Vince's poker
He
faces.
has glasses down there on the end of his nose.
And sometimes when you're talking to him, you can't tell if fucking he likes you or wants you to die. So, and probably both a little bit. Like, yeah, I like you, but if you die,
We got
we'll see.
more.
We're actually on the way to the hospital filming this segment where I had to put a Triple H mask on my head, and they were pulling things out of my ass.
I missed that one too.
And it's like, then they pulled my own head out of my ass. It was like Hunter had his own head up his ass.
Was it really your head?
Yes.
So that was what they were doing. They were limoing you over to do the
Yeah.
pre-tape on the thing?
Yeah, we went to like a real hospital. And I remember thinking, like, if I'm going to have I think I had my hurricane mask on, and then I had one of those, like just a cardboard cutout of Hunter over that. And I was like, oh yeah, I am the game. And they were like yanking shit out of my ass. Oh yeah, I'm the game. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Speaking of
YouTube
Raw,
that shit.
Did you like the thing with Brock where he tore up Hunter's office?
That's pretty cool.
Man,
It was different.
I'll tell you what, I like Brock. You talk about somebody that makes this shit look real. I'm sitting there looking at this motherfucker the whole time going,
He brings a believability factor that you can't, like, Ryback's a big guy.
yeah, but he's working.
He doesn't have the believability factor.
If they put me in a match, if I was still wrestling and they put me in a match with Brock, I'd probably be the other one.
He's a big motherfucker, man.
But just that look on his face is like, all right, does he know what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Or is he just gonna fucking kill me?
Man, I was at SmackDown. This is a Thursday. Was today Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, today's Thursday. So 2 nights ago, SmackDown was in Raleigh, North Carolina. and I took the waitress, man, and so she's never seen giant people.
Yeah.
So when you got the Big Show, it was funny just to watch her, and then here comes Kylie over there, and then Big Mark Henry, you know, and Kane and Jamie and Bradshaw's a big. You know, I put a picture with Bradshaw. You see how big he is. Like a lot of people don't realize just how big he is. And that's why when people see me, sometimes they always think I'm small.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
they don't
compared to
realize.
Mark Henry, you are.
Yeah. And they would see me on TV, and I was like, well, you know, Mark must be 6 foot, so this other guy must be 5.5. And then when they realize that I'm 6 foot, then they're like, well, how tall and big are these motherfuckers?
I used to lift weights with Mark Henry.
Why would you? Yeah, we talked about that on here before.
Damn.
You retailing.
Retail.
Get out of that retail business. But yeah, it was funny to watch her. You know, like Kylie just looks insane in real life.
I've never met him. How tall is he? Legit?
7'3". And he just comes walk, man. It's like those damn trees in Return of the King. Fucking
The ants?
yeah, them ants walking around like
Was he Treebeard?
Treebeard, exactly.
Was he got feet like that?
Yeah, pretty much. And the first thing I said, I go, "You a stooge?" He goes, "I'm a stooge." Did you see that on Raw?
Yes, I did.
Kylie with the pop of the night. Who would have thought it? You didn't think about it.
Well, you know, years ago,
Years.
I had the honor of getting my ass beat by the legend Andre the Giant.
Oh yeah. And
And
give you that headbutt to the back of the brain.
yeah,
How'd that feel?
picture standing there like outside and somebody getting in a car, just kind of driving up behind you and hit you in the back of the head. Now he actually, he was really, he's in control of what he's doing. Even then, he was not in the best health. But I was gonna say, he seemed huge to me at the time, but Big Show and Big Show's bigger than he was.
Yeah, Big Show's bigger than Andre.
And that giant Gonzalez fucker.
Yeah, he was like 7'5", right?
That motherfucker was big.
Now see, he's dead, right?
Yeah, I think he died a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what happened.
Elegante.
Elegante.
Wouldn't Flair refuse to call him that and call him El Gigante? Wasn't that him?
He just, yeah, I think he did. Or he just didn't know how to pronounce it.
I think he was just trying to be heel, like to show that I can be stupid sometimes. El Gigante.
Woo!
I posted on my Tumblr and it went to Twitter. I'll have to show it to you since you still don't understand the concept and the power of the Twitter. It was like almost 15 minutes of Flair just going insane. It's fucking hysterical.
Speaking of Twitter, I came across a tweet from you yesterday.
Oh, do I have to explain my tweet?
No, it was from where you were on a radio show.
Okay.
I don't know, but they asked, one of the questions they asked you was, do you feel that it limits, and obviously they're referring to guys in the WWE, the talent, when they script everything for them?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
And I agreed with what you said. But I was going to tell you, I told you I was reading Terry Funk's book right now.
Uh-huh.
Terry Funk makes an interesting statement about that. I mean, he's not just saying, what he's saying is when the creativity, which I guess I don't know how many writers or how many people they got on their writing team, but it's a small number compared to the number of wrestlers they got, obviously.
Right.
He said when all the creativity comes from one small group of people, that's why it all comes across the same.
Yeah.
There's not that unique, personality coming from every different wrestler.
And I tried to touch base on why I think they're afraid of it. I think they're afraid of guys going out there and striking out on live TV. So they try to overcoach them. I think they try to overprotect them. I mean, if you're an artist, if you look at Michelangelo and you go, I want you to paint the Sistine Chapel, but you're only allowed 4 colors.
Yeah.
Now he probably still
Here's
could
a
do
sketch.
something.
Do it like this.
Yeah, he probably still could do something good.
Well,
But it's not going to be as good as him giving free reign.
The no-brainer to me on that seems to be just pre-tape it. Don't do them live if you don't trust the guy to do it.
Yeah, but they love having that guy out there in that crowd. They love that because when you're at a live event, and this is I know you don't like the in-ring promos, but if I'm at a live event, I'd much rather watch this guy right in front of me than watch a screen. Because if I wanted to watch a screen, I could have stayed the fuck home.
I guess. I just think they still do backstage stuff, and I'm sure that stuff's taped.
Yeah, but it can't all be that. It has to. If every time there was a promo, it was all backstage, with as much talking as exists in wrestling now, you spend, even at a live event, you spend an hour and a half just watching the fucking thing.
Well, I don't know. I just, even when they used to do the remember the ringside promos? And it was funny because
Yeah.
they'd always do them right when the guy got through wrestling. He was so blown up he couldn't talk.
Yeah, and half remember
So
shit.
tell us, what do you think about your opponent?
Yeah, that's the fucking worst.
Yeah, but you know, I just like the announcer asking questions. I mean, even if they want to do it out there in front of the crowd. But you know, if you've got a guy that you feel like you got to write his shit down for him because he's gonna stink it up, then let him do the thing backstage.
Right.
They're gonna. I mean, you know, Rocky can go out there, or Mick Foley, or Austin, or any of them guys that don't wrestle anymore. No, I mean, I don't know this new breed of guys. I don't know who can really get out there.
I'm hoping too that maybe that once they realize that the guy can talk, that they give him a little leeway. Like maybe in the beginning, all right, we're not sure what this guy can do, so let's, you know. I mean, that probably happens in movies too. You know, you can't go in there as a new guy in a movie and do all this improvisational shit. But if you're Vince Vaughn, you can come in and improv the whole fucking thing, and that's what's going to happen.
Because if you're a jabroni and you do it, they'll fire you and tell you to go.
Yeah, you know. So
Motherfucker, what'd you say?
didn't
The
read
fuck
the
outta
fucking
here.
script. Get out of here. I mean, I was very fortunate. They knew that I could do what I could do. So, I mean, Vince. One of the things I was doing something with Zack Ryder and Rosa Mendez, and they were, you know, coached on what they were going to say. And what I did with Vince, and and they say, well, "You want Hurricane to do his?" And he goes, "No, it's the Hurricane." I mean, that just, you know, Vince like knew that I could do it, and I'll make it
How
work.
does that stuff work? They come out of the production meeting and go here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's literally written down. for
Sometimes it was written down toward the end. Like at first, I mean, back in the day, they would kind of just talk to me. It's like, all right, you know, like the whole thing with Steve Austin, you know, the one that started the whole Hurricane thing. All I knew is like the camera said, "Hey, he's going to ask you about your tattoo," and then I told this story 100 times. Vince was like, "Maybe you eat a tomato, and maybe you eat a carrot," and I was like, "What?" And when that was his whole thing, no, at first I had to eat a carrot because they had this tray of vegetables in there, and they go in there and Vince like, "And maybe you eat a carrot." And Austin will ask you about his tattoo, and you're back and forth, and you leave, and maybe you eat a tomato.
it. Just like,
I know you know there's little fucking cherry tomatoes in the thing.
I hate those things.
And like in my mind, I thought they were ribbing me, like they threw all this fruit on the floor or some shit, they got it at the garbage or stuck it up their assholes or something. But it was, you know, Vince is the boss, so I went there and I ate that fucking carrot, and we started talking about the tattoo, and it was, you know, ad
I
lib.
remember the thing.
Yeah, and then Deborah started laughing, so we played off of her, and that was one take, and I ate that fucking tomato and left.
Was it a one-take deal?
Hell yeah, I'm one take Helms, son.
I think that, you know, if you can do that kind of stuff, that, you know, some people ask me too, they're talking about.
But see, you know, if I would have fucked that up, if I'd have been terrible at it and been, you know, then maybe going forward, it would have been like, all right, we need you to say this, 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 and this, and this. But because I didn't, maybe that's why it gave me that leeway. I don't know.
I just personally think that, you know, if you can get yourself in character and, you know, just interact, I think, you know, maybe you can say, all right, you know, this is what we're going to talk about. This is the point we're going to try to make. You know, this is what we want you to get across. And then you go from there. But I mean, so, you know, them promos guys used to do back in the 70s were fucking horrible.
Hey, brother,
I mean, even, you know, back.
I'll see you in Nashville, Tennessee.
But, you know, I mean, I guess everything has to evolve.
Yeah, things are a little bit more complicated, a little bit more.
What do you think about the influx of talent that's coming into the WWE? Do you see that talent pool dwindling somewhat?
No, there's a lot of fucking guys. Like I say, I was up there, you know, and I'm sitting there walking around the back, and you're reminded of how many talented guys they got. But there's a difference between being talented and being a star, you know. And the thing is, they got rid of so many of the well-known stars, and there's a lot of people they want to use. So that's why there's kind of this law. There's a lot of people that aren't at that star level.
I don't think, and I'm not saying this to be negative, but it seems like when Rocky and Austin and, you know, John Cena, to me, is kind of at that level with them guys, but maybe not quite all the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Cena?
well, I mean, you know, if you take Cena and The Rock, I mean, I still think The Rock's here and Cena's here, or Austin, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like there's a bigger gap under John Cena.
Yeah,
The next,
I agree.
You know, person that could carry the company or could sell out 1 million. I mean, you know, Brock Lesnar is kind of there. But,
Taker.
Yeah, Taker. But see, like guys like Taker are, you know, I mean, how much longer is he going to do this?
I think he just had like a shoulder surgery or something. Another one, man. So
How old is he? Like pushing 50, isn't he?
yeah, I don't know exactly how old he is. I
And he's
need
had
to call
his
him.
share of injuries too, hasn't
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's put a lot of miles on the road. He's had a lot of good matches. You know,
Well, he still does. I mean, that's what impresses me when he can come out. I mean, he's always impressed me, but when he comes out and works once a year, and he can still go like a damn hell of fire.
I mean, that was still the best match on Mania, right? With Punk and Taker.
It just seems
And
like
it's like the best match on Mania every year involves the Undertaker, and it's one of those. It's like at some point the wrestling community is going to have to realize, hey, he's the common denominator here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in at least the last 4 or 5, it seemed.
Well, I don't know Punk. I've never met him personally, but I like his mic work. I think he's a decent wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I know they tried to push him as the top guy, which is good for him. But it just seems like he's not. You know.
Yeah, I think it's just harder to become these days with everything that's known about the business and exposed about the business. It's harder to be that Rock and that Austin. It's never going. You know, not that none of those guys might ever come again, but it's just harder to become that top guy now.
I guess I think my opinion is the thing that is holding Punk back is his body.
You hate his body.
I don't hate it. It's just
You hate his body. You and Carlito hate his body.
compare his body to Rocky or compare his body to Austin. You know, even Shawn Michaels. I mean, not now, but you know when he was on the rise. You know, just the shape he was in. You know, if Punk could just put on like another 20 pounds, he's just got a body of like a 14-year-old boy or something. And it just, I don't know. I think it hurts him from a credibility standpoint. I mean, when you see him out there wrestling The Rock, it doesn't look believable that Punk's out there bumping him. It looks like Rocky's just taking bumps.
Right.
You know, it doesn't look like he's knocking him down or he's got enough, you know, physical power to hang with him or something like that. And I mean, he's as good as anybody with the damn mic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a heel. I mean, I don't know.
He's up there, man. That's still that Boxing with God promo he did with Rocky is one of my favorite fucking promos in
Yeah, I mean,
the last 10
he
years.
get out
I
there and
bet.
hang with those guys with the promo. And Cena's is. I've never seen him be a heel. I mean, is that ever going to happen? Or
He is a heel.
officially. He's got to get the
No,
card.
he's a heel. He gets booed. They
He does?
boo him. They cheer when he gets beat. He's the heel. His gimmick is babyface.
Okay,
but
do you ever
he's the
think
heel.
they will officially just let him do something to be a heel?
When they do, then people will start cheering him, and he'll be the babyface.
Why? Because they're a bunch of fucking, what do you call it, hecklers?
Yeah, it's this simple.
Whatever
No
you're trying
matter
to get them to do, they'll...
no matter what is going on, if they're booing, that's the heel. If Jesus came out and they booed him, he would be the heel. If Satan came out and they cheered him, he would be the babyface in that scenario.
Well, that was...
In that window of time frame or whatever, whoever is getting cheered is the babyface.
You made a good point. If somebody posted something on Facebook about Brock when he was out there beating somebody up or something, the one-man band or the three-man band or whatever, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the guy said, "Oh, you know, Brock should have kept beating their ass." I didn't pick up on that to start with.
Right.
And you pointed it out and you said, "No, Brock's trying to be the heel. So why should he cater to what the crowd wants?" And then that's when I said, you know, Shane's right. But then who's the genius that decided to have him come out there and beat up the three-man band so everybody cheers Brock? I mean, that's not, it's just...
Well, that didn't bother me as bad. I think if he's going to murder somebody, and I mean, because he's at that level where there's going to be people, he's going to get a degree of pop anyway, just by how impressive he looks. He's a badass. There's I'm not going to hate somebody because they beat people to fuck up, and you can't take that away. He can't all of a sudden be some chicken shit heel. No. That's not going to happen. He's kind of different. So I mean, if he's going to, yeah. So if he's going to beat up, you know, I'd rather him beat up the three-man band and beat up like Zack Ryder and some other baby faces. You know, I'd rather him beat up, you know, somebody that doesn't necessarily need cheers. If you understand what I'm saying.
I was trying to think. I mean, is there somebody they've got that he could have done that to that the fans would have felt sympathy for? I mean, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
The girls, maybe.
A girl, but that wouldn't have...
Dude, this is a bloodthirsty crowd.
What, they just want to see people suffer?
We're in that weird age. It was the age of the anti-hero. Now it's just the age of the asshole. That's just how it
They
is,
just want
man.
to see somebody get hurt.
I'm watching, my favorite show on TV now is Hannibal. I'm fucking cheering for a fucking cannibal. That's every show that is on there, every top-rated show. If you watch True Blood, you're cheering for fucking vampires. You watch Sons of Anarchy, you're cheering for drug dealing, gun hauling bikers. You know, I mean, every show you're cheering for something. You watch Dexter, you're cheering for a fucking serial killer. You watch Breaking
Not
Bad,
a serial thriller.
not a serial thriller. You watch Breaking Bad, you're cheering for a
Meth head.
He's not an addict, but
He's a dealer, isn't he?
yeah, meth dealer. Like every single show out there, the highest rated shows, you're cheering,
dregs
for
of
the
society.
bad guy. Yeah, that's just what's going on.
And you know nobody likes vampires.
Fucking vampires suck.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just how it is. So I mean, when you want to go out there, and it's really hard on heels to go out there, but I think I would love to go out there with a heel who just found a way to get booed. Like the indies, it's really hard for these guys because they're trying to sell merchandise too. Every heel I work these days, they wanna do something that gets a pop. They want to get on the microphone and make smart ass remarks so people laugh with them. They just don't know how to be a fucking heel.
They don't know how to do it.
No.
Speaking of which, when you went to SmackDown the other night, was Marty there?
Marty.
Garner.
No. Why?
I was just wondering. It wouldn't surprise me if he was backstage.
Oh, no. I don't think he's allowed backstage no more.
Really?
Seems like I heard that one time. I don't. No, yeah, remember because
He gave all the office's email addresses
he gave
away.
Johnny Ace's email out, and they won't let him back there no more.
So what, the whole office had to change their email
Everybody changed that shit, man.
because of Marty.
I think so.
There you go.
No, I don't think anybody had changed the email. Just got fucking tired of it. But anyway, it's hard to be a legit. I mean, the last legit heel in this business that, and I could be wrong, but I think it was JBL. He was the last guy that just everybody hated coming out.
I love the way he'd come with that little ring jacket with a towel around his neck and that big hat.
He just found a way in the age of the asshole, age of the anti-hero. He found a way to get booed.
But he's been around long enough where he knows how shit used to work.
Swagger and actually Dutch there are the closest things to
Yeah.
legit heels we got going right now.
Now, how much of that load do you think is being carried by Dutch, and how much of it do you think?
A lot.
Because
Because Swagger
but
is.
that's okay though. I mean, if you got a guy like Swagger that really hasn't got the mouth or the personality to go out there and do it, but he's good in the ring, then put a manager with
But
him.
he's almost too good. He's a damn amateur wrestling Hall of Fame guy.
Right.
Now, he could go out there and tear ass up. If you do any kind of background check,
So basically,
see what I went on him, you would realize, all right, Swagger could actually beat the fuck out of half these guys anytime he wanted to. Like, that plays in my mind sometimes. And then I'm sitting there watching that. I would like to see somebody a little less physically imposing in that role. That would make me hate him even more.
Wasn't somebody that's legit.
Yeah, because I had that problem sometimes when they have Vladimir Kozlov.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They wanted him to be this big heel Russian. But all he did was beat the fuck out of everybody clean. And I'll leave the agent's name out, because I respect him and I like him. But I was just trying to get him to see a more modern day approach to things. I was like, well, nobody really hates the Russians anymore. That kind of Nikita Koloff shit was back in the day. And this was that agent. That agent was around in that day.
I think I know who you mean.
And I was like, there's nothing. I was like, I don't want to boo him because he's out there beating the fuck out of people. He goes, yeah, but he's Russian. I'm like, do you know who Fedor is? And of course he didn't. And I was like, and this was like, when Fedor was, before his 2 losses there, 2 or 3 losses. And I was like, Fedor's one of the most dominating fighters on the planet. He's Russian. Fucking everybody loves him. He's over as shit. He just goes out there and beats the fuck out of people. I was like, why do I hate Vladimir? Because he wins clean. Just because he's from
He's just
Russia?
an athlete out there trying to win wrestling.
Yeah, that's fucking impressive.
That's what he's supposed to be doing, ain't
Yeah. I was like, if I would win over on him, it would have had to be something where I steal a win, fucking porta tights or some shit. It's like, so the babyface has to cheat.
to beat the guy that's being an honest.
Yeah, but the heel goes over clean, and if you get watch, and still to this day, you'll see a lot of that still goes on TV. The baby faces get the cheap win, the heels go over clean.
The babyface screw jobs.
Yeah, and if you watch, they had Damian Sandow, who I like as a person, come out. He did this. He sang Randy Orton's theme song. Everybody loved it. Why would you, as a heel, and it's not his fault, he didn't, but if I'm a heel, I don't want to do something that everybody's going to love. I want to do something that everybody fucking hates. They boo me, therefore the heel.
And you get the babyface over, not yourself.
I don't know. Call me crazy.
Had a thought in there, but it just died along the way.
It's the land of the in-betweens now. Nobody wants to commit to being a heel, and the heels want to all be half baby faces. I think Randy wants to be a fucking heel.
He is a heel.
Yeah, he's a heel by nature. He wants to be a heel. He wants to go out there and
Maybe
get
that's why
booed.
me and him got along so good. Asshole magnet.
You know, it's just, I don't know. And you know what, my gimmick too, my gimmick is such a white meat babyface gimmick as the Hurricane. When I got another guy out there trying to get a babyface, I'm like, why? Dude, this could be so fucking easy. Be Lex Luthor. You know? And we got this shit made. Because if you're going to try to get a bigger pops than me, especially on the indie show, more than likely that's not going to happen. I don't know. I try to give advice. People take it or not. I mean, it's my thing about Ring of Honor. Every heel in there tries to get pops.
They got heels?
I guess, yeah. I mean, Steen was their biggest heel, but he would go out there on the microphone. All he's doing is stand-up comedy. You know, trying to make people laugh and cuss and be Austin. And then, you know, I mean, but I think he's kind of leaning to a babyface thing now. But I don't think that was the plan, but that's just what you have to do with a guy like that.
He is kind of funny.
He's hilarious. I mean, that's the thing.
When he was at Jeff's place a few weeks ago down in Burlington, we were back there. He was kind of making me laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the shit he was saying in the locker room.
Yeah, he's a smart ass, so that's funny. But then eventually you're gonna have to just give up being a babyface and just be give up being a heel and just be a babyface.
And I told you who I liked that night, who impressed the shit out of me.
Roderick Strong. Roderick's a bad motherfucker, man.
Motherfucker was good.
We're going to get him on an Omega show.
He would fit right in.
Yeah.
I love that style though. I don't know. Maybe the big audience, you know, maybe that's more of a connoisseur.
What do you mean style?
Just that shit where it looks like they're actually wrestling.
Oh, Roddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just
There's two other guys that down in. We're talking about the Carolina Wrestling Federation out of Gibsonville, Burlington area, North Carolina. CWF247.com. There's a couple of guys that have a really good amateur style.
Conley.
Caleb Conley's good too.
He's good
Very
as shit.
Yeah.
And he's one of them guys. I was watching him. He's one of them guys like Bret Hart or Mr. Perfect that just the details and selling the little things and you know.
He's pretty too. That's a pretty boy.
Yeah, I like it.
That boy pretty.
But
I'm just saying.
You know, like shit.
If you were
like,
in prison and Caleb was your cellmate, would you be happy?
Yeah, I'd fucking dog shit out of him.
Come on, man. There's children listening.
I'll give you an example. This just sticks out in my mind. Takes the guy in the corner. He was wrestling Trevor.
Trevor Murdoch.
Lee. Yeah, Trevor Murdoch Lee. You know, he takes, and I think Trevor's good too. But you know, they get back in the corner and they're gonna do. And I'm watching some of these other guys. You know, and the referee comes in there and breaks them in the corner.
Right.
And they all try to do some kind of fucking hokey bullshit, gaga with the ref and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb gives him a break, turns around and walks to the other corner. I was like, damn, that's fucking good. But he did it with that look on his face, like, all right, motherfucker, come on.
Right.
You know, and it looked like believable shit to me.
Believability factor.
Exactly.
I tell you what's gonna be believable. When me and Matt Hardy whoop Steve Corino and CW's ass on May 25th.
I would love to see it. Actually, I will.
I'm tired of CW spine busting my motherfucking brains out too. I'm tired of that shit.
What did he say about you? He said something about your ass too.
He hates it, man, because I'm over in that area.
Yeah.
Because his ass went to Zebulon.
Yeah.
And he went to North Johnston or South Johnston. I think he went to North Johnston High School.
Where's that? He lived over there in damn Middlesex or somewhere.
I don't know what the fuck he did. Whoop his ass from a bitch.
That's what's gonna happen. You asked this question earlier.
Answer it then.
No, do you want to address any of these folks here that are answering your question you asked?
Oh, yeah, I did put on there. Well, give me a question. Give me a question.
All
I'll
right,
answer that motherfucker.
First question.
Right now.
You want me to say their names?
Yeah, say their names.
Lee Canfield.
Lee Canfield.
Former Omega guys, and where are they now? Okay, there's one, and here's two, and we're right here.
And the other answer is Google that shit.
Shit.
Don't ask me questions you can find out on fucking Google.
Uh,
Google that shit.
All right, from Mike Howell. Where'd you park the car, man?
Right fucking here.
Uh,
Inside joke. Bam.
What is the best advice for a new promoter who wants to start up?
Worry about your product instead of the money. If you're gonna get in this to start making money right off the giddy up, you're in the wrong fucking business. Any kind of business, you don't make money for like 6 months to a year in any new business.
Let me ask your opinion on this, and this kind of pertains directly to us. Do you still think it's possible if you do? I mean, there's just so much shitty wrestling out there on the indies.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna call names, but I go to a lot of shows, and there ain't many of them
And that's
that I would
hurtless.
watch. And
That's
I'm
hurtless.
the biggest fucking mark that ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, if you look at it and go, well, those people doing these shows are killing the business. And then you got guys that are doing some decent stuff, like CWF and, you know, places like that, and what we try to do. Do you think you can still build towns? Do you still think you can build it?
No, I mean I think you can, but what happens is when you get a good little area, then when these shitty little companies come in with their bush league shit and fuck it all up, and that just happens all the time. I did a little tour a couple weeks ago. West Virginia first night, Ohio the second night,
Was
Albany,
that the one
New
with the
York.
billboard?
No, that one's coming up.
Okay.
So anyway, West Virginia, Ohio, Albany, New York. The Ohio show, fantastic. People hanging off the Raptors. You couldn't fit another motherfucker in there. Tell them
whose book did you get that of? All of them?
But the night before, in West Virginia, the Ringling Brothers are in town. Now, in case you haven't lived in this fucking country, you don't book against the fucking circus. The Ringling Brothers. I don't think Vince books against the circus. That's just a respect thing. The
Well,
circus
like,
is in town. Don't book a fucking show.
Those guys had the bright idea to run their indie show against WrestleMania. I think they ended up canceling it.
What guys?
Shane Douglas.
Oh no, that was the same. That was just the same weekend of
I thought they
WrestleMania.
were going to do it that night or go head to head with it. Or
No.
something.
It was just the same weekend. That WrestleMania weekend now. That's a lot of people jumping on that. That's some good
Yeah, but they
idea.
all do it at the
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and shit like that. And I think that Extreme Rising show was going to be on a Friday or Saturday.
But don't most of the guys that do it go up there and do it where Mania is at, and like do it in the area so that the guys?
Yeah, that
can
was
get
going to be
into
in
that?
Philly. Philly's not that far from us.
But the theory there is that access thing gets sold out. People can't get into that. Maybe they'll come to your stuff, right?
Well, the theory is that there's fucking an extra 30,000, 40,000 people in an already heavily populated area. So let's
They're
get
in a
some.
wrestling frame of
I
mind.
think Ring of Honor was the first one to do that. Ring of Honor or Dragon Gate was one of the first guys that's like, I'm gonna do a show. And I remember in Houston thinking, man, that was a really great idea. It was the first time I remember it happened. It may have been before that, whatever the WrestleMania was in Houston. I was like, man, they're gonna do a little indie show, and because I wanted to go, because there were some guys, some indie talent on there that I knew, and some that I knew of and wanted to see, and because I had to do access and shit like that, I couldn't go. But maybe that was 2007, maybe 2008. I want to say 2007, but I was like, man, I remember thinking that's a good idea, and now it's just like, especially this past year, man, fucking they were printing money up there, and it was a festival. Wrestling fans were everywhere you turned around. I did 2 shows for Pro Wrestling Syndicate, which is a really good promotion. Check them out if you don't know of them. They do some of the craziest matchups you've ever fucking seen in your life.
What, like gimmick matches?
They do it, yeah. I mean, they'll have like some really great matches, and then they book the Minotaur against Tito Santana, El Matador.
Did he do the?
And that fucking shit the concept of that fucking made me a fan. Just hearing that match, like I like these guys. Like that just made me like this group, that match. I teamed with Starman from the video game. The second night I was at, awesome.
Did he do the deal?
And he did everything. And we wrestled actually Nova, ECW, ECW's Nova, and Chris Chatty. It was Chris Chatty. Chris Chatty apparently had
hurt or something.
well, he apparently had never had a retirement match because he got all these injuries. So he came back for a retirement match and worked me and Starman, and it was really good. His family and his kids got to see him for the first time ever.
Really?
Yeah,
His
so-
kids were born after he.
I guess all I know is this was the first time his kids were being able to
That
see
was
him.
our program in ECW.
Who? Chetty and No?
Well, Chetty was hurt,
Right.
and Kid Cash was filling in for him.
Mhm.
But then Chetty would come in there, and like do some stuff, but he wasn't wrestling at the time.
The crowd liked it. The crowd liked him, and so we had a good time. But yeah, anyway, back we had those shows. Then you got that WrestleCon, and
So
then
that was High Spots this thing, right?
I think High Spots is a big part of WrestleCon.
Because I talked to Jeff about that. You know what he said?
Go.
Yeah.
And then after a new thing that was added this year was a shenanigans party, and it was hosted by me and Kevin Nash, and Matt was there and some other guys.
That's a strange combination.
No, I want to team with Nash, but I don't want to team with Nash. I want to team with Oz. And you people, if you're wrestling fans, you just popped a little bit. If you've envisioned in your mind's eye the Hurricane coming out and fucking Oz right behind me.
And RoboCop as your manager.
Yeah, fuck her, RoboCop. I am RoboCop. That shit would be good. But we did the shenanigans party, did WrestleMania the next day. Man, every single event that we went to was a success. And in the WrestleCon room that I was in, I had Lanny Poffo beside me. I was with Mighty Molly there. Lanny Poffo was in the room. The fucking the Minotaur was over there. Jameson, you remember Nerd Jameson?
Yeah, and the fucking Minotaur.
And the fucking Minotaur. Nerd Jameson was over there, and
Jameson, that guy, that was back in the old.
yeah, with the nerdy glasses and all that shit. And he's all jacked up. Motherfucker's been on the DDP yoga or something. I don't know. But his son was there. And have you seen this commercials with Cam Newton? And there's a little white kid going, yeah, maybe I'll get picked first in the draft. You know, maybe I'll come take your job. And I'll be your mom's favorite player. And Cam Newton's going, what? What are you talking about? And then the kid starts doing like this. Like, I'm just warming up.
That's Jameson's son?
That's Jameson's kid. In that room, too.
Now, just so I got this right, Jameson's the one that used to do those skits with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan?
Yeah, the fucking nerd guy. I think Kevin Sullivan was in there. Gold Dust, the Boogeyman, Shockmaster. I put a picture online of me with a Shockmaster's mask.
I saw that.
For the record, you cannot see a fucking thing with that mask on.
I used to have one of those when I was a kid.
You can't see fucking... So, and that's what I said. I go, well, that kind of explains things a little bit. Now I get it. You busted your ass because you couldn't see a fucking thing out of here.
Hey, people remember it, though.
Yeah, the Mean Street Posse was in there.
Was Jason there?
So the person who just asked the Omega question, the Mean Street, yeah, Jason was there. Venom from the Omega was at WrestleCon. But anyway, I don't know how we got off on that. But what was it? What's it? Give me another question.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, the guy said, "How do you start? Why and how a promoter? This guy's not speaking English here. Why and how a promoter should book a name wrestler on their indie shows, and is it okay for the promoter to ask the name to put over local talent?"
It's a give and take. It depends on the scenario. I mean, you need a little bit more. I need more details for me to answer that. But where I think some promotions, indie promotions, miss opportunities is they bring these name talent in for a one and done. Now, keep in mind, there's some name talents out there that ain't going to do shit. They're going to come there. They ain't going to bump. You know, it's just going to be more or less of a glorified meet and greet, and the guy happens to be in the ring for a minute or two. That's what I'm sorry to say that, but that's what happens a lot of time. I go in there, and that kind of fucking aggravates me a little bit, because I go in there and bust my damn ass.
Yes.
You know, if I'm on your show, I'm going to go in there and try to do a match. I've been in tag matches where I was like, no, I'll take the heat. And all these young guys are like, really? I was like, man, fuck it, man, let's roll. I'll fucking see you out there. Let's do it. But I think, you know, if you're going to use a name, you should bring him in for a couple of days. Do some good shit. Do a little angle. Bring him back. Build it up. Then if he puts over a local talent on the way out, who cares? You can't bring in, I don't think you bring in a name talent and just fucking beat his ass for no reason. Because then it doesn't really do anything.
Nobody's going to buy that anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking silly. And it's a disappointment factor. If you bring a name in and all these fans come in to see him and you fuck him up, did you really do your product any justice there?
I'll tell you how I feel about it. Based on what I've seen, I think you got to be selective about who you bring in and how you use them. I see a lot of guys where the name guy they'll bring in is a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the only name guy on the whole card.
Right.
And to me, I mean, if you're trying to use this guy as a draw, you know, heels don't draw, they help baby faces draw.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you had a strong baby face to put him with, then I could see doing that. But when you put TNA Gunner against Rob the Boogeyman McBride on a main event, or, you know, just somebody that the average, you know, fans aren't going to perceive as being at his level or something like that, I really don't think you're going to build. I mean, I guess there's a way you could do it, but I'm just saying that's not smart use of the money as opposed to, okay, I got TNA Gunner against Hurricane Helms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody where, you know, it looks like, you know, you're going to have a match on your hands instead of beating up on one of their guys. As far as, and then some of these guys that I see people just kind of pull off the shelf, I don't know, unless they're really not paying them a whole lot, I don't see, you know, some guy that hadn't been on TV in 25 years.
Well, there's a novelty factor. I mean, there's a portion of your audience.
It depends on who it is, but I mean, some guy that wasn't even over 25 years ago. Yeah,
but the novelty factor is still there. Remember, you got three audiences that you're marketing to. Kids, past, present, and future. You can't just ignore the past. So, you know what, if fucking Corporal Kirshner, I just pick that name out of my ass, head, whatever. Say you can get him on the show, and there might be 10 people. No, I personally wouldn't do that. I would go for something a little bit higher than him, you know, but I mean, that's why you would book an Ivan Koloff or an Iron Sheik just to do a little appearance on your show.
Yeah, but he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. He's fucking crazy. You gotta have him.
Well, I mean, like, say you...
But remember, past, present, and future. Today's audience, you know, and you got to book to the kids. The kids will kind of accept whatever. Today's audience kind of want to see today's stars, and you know, you want to see yesterday's yesteryear.
Corporal Kirshner, for instance, I would probably be hard pressed to think of anything useful for him.
Yeah, that was actually a very bad example.
Well, I mean, didn't he actually end up doing some different gimmick in Japan later? Wasn't he damn Leatherface or something?
I have no fucking idea.
But just
where did that name? I haven't thought about him in 20 years.
I don't want to throw people's names out there and you know, offend anybody or anything like that. But I just, you know, some of these people, I'll go to a show and it's like the main event is, you know, former superstar, this guy here. And I'm like, what made you pick him?
Right.
You know, of all the guys you could get, you know,
you know, Lewis Moore does a little promotion in Clayton, North Carolina. It's always odd to me, some of the guys he picks, but I kind of think it's cool because if you go look at the resume of the people that have appeared on his in his company and on his shows, there's a lot of people in there. To me, the overall picture.
But here's what I can say about him: he seems to, for the most part, go for the Mid-Atlantic legend Jim Crockett promotion guys. Mm-hmm. Which,
I mean, he had like Bunkhouse Buck, perfect example. I would have never thought to book Bunkhouse Buck.
I probably still would.
But he still had him on there, and
but like Bunkhouse Buck might do good for an indie company in in Knoxville.
I think he actually did okay.
Well,
who knows why?
Sells that place out every time though, and you know he does good with that shit. I mean, his shows are good.
Well, I mean, the biggest sellouts were when somebody was on the show,
But then again, with the size of that building, I've kind of wondered about his math sometimes.
See the way you put him over, and then you just shit all over him.
I'm just wondering how profitable.
You got to highlight the negatives every time.
It's called being objective.
He makes money on their shows. There's no way he can't.
I mean, how many people's that building hold? A couple hundred?
I don't know. I know the fucking fire department shows up and tells that motherfucker to stop.
Well, the last show I went to was a couple weeks ago. He had that place. I mean, they were having to go hunt for chairs in the back.
Yeah.
And I don't know how exactly he promotes it, but he does a good job. I mean, that's all I can say.
He puts on a good little product. He worries about the product first. And then if he,
build it and they will come.
If you build it. Next question, man. You're fucking getting long-winded here.
I don't know. These,
You're getting long-winded. You're getting long-winded, I'm getting short-answered.
These questions. Oh, and as far as the second part of that question, should a name wrestler put over...
I did answer that.
I was going to give my opinion on that.
Nobody care about your opinion, motherfucker?
I care.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think the days of putting somebody over hurting you exist anymore. I mean, you know how Bruiser Brody wouldn't put anybody over. But there was like a serious repercussion for that because the people in Japan would hear that he got...
But I'll tell you this, like when I was the WCW Cruiserweight Champion, there was a time when we could allowed to do some indies before we went to WWE, and I got booked on this show, and I'm coming in as the Cruiserweight Champion, and they want me to put somebody else, and I was going, you have to realize that I'm not sure if the company would approve of this.
Did you have to ask?
No, I didn't. I just said, no, I'm not going to fucking do it.
You thought they found out you did it, they'd be hot?
I didn't know, but I wasn't going to take that chance. They might not have gave it a shit, but I wasn't going to take the chance. And it was one of those things where it was just like, this kid is untested. You got this untested piece of talent who may or may not fucking even be in the business a year from now. If you want me to come in and put him over, I want it to be somebody fucking decent.
How did they put that to you?
They did. At first, another one, it was a fucking tournament. I'm going to come in now, all of a sudden, I got to wrestle 3 times. And I'm like, fuck are you talking about, man?
One booking fee?
Yeah. Ixnay, that shit.
Ixnay on the 3 times?
I don't know, I mean, to me, it's like that on TV, too. I hate having to put over somebody that's untested, that's not a proven commodity. Don't damage what I've built on the risk of somebody who may or not even be here in the company. And I put over a fucking hiding right. I put a lot of guys that fucking a year and a half later, they're not even with the company anymore, and I'm over here going, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad we built this guy up so well. Remember, fans are fair weather fans. That's a majority of the audience is, man. They don't want a bunch of losers out there. So you got to be careful who you work with. My opinion.
Will Marty ever make a comeback to H2H with you and Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I want Champagne to get back and do a little stuff with us, but yeah, I know he's didn't he break his leg or back or arm or neck or his toe?
Yeah, all of that.
There you go. So I don't know. Champagne, we definitely want Champagne back and have a little fun.
I think he had a motor vehicle accident.
All right, let's take 2 or 3 more and get the hell out of here.
That's actually all of them.
Come on, man. There's got to be something else. What the cue ball? Cue ball has something, didn't he?
He said, how bad did Bill beat the lady killer kid at the bowling alley?
Bill Eadie, the masked superstar at the show I was on, put out a mask the size of this fucking CD. It didn't look like it would fit on his head. He put that shit on. You were there. What the fuck am I talking about? You were there. And he put on that Masked Superstar gimmick.
He
and
picked it up, and I thought it was like something he was going to sell at the gimmick table or something.
Put that shit on. And he had the damn butterfly collar superstar shirt.
That shit was cool.
That shit was cool as hell. I want a team with the Masked Superstar. Demolition, I want a team with Demolition too, but I want a team with the Masked Superstar. And he went out there, and I don't know what happened, but some kid kind of...
I remember what happened.
I mean, I know... Let me say I don't know why it happened. I'm not sure exactly why it happened, but some kid was doing a Shawn Michaels gimmick.
Yeah.
With the tights, the motocross boots, the hair.
He went up to Bill and said something about lay it in on me, I can take it, or something like that.
He said that to Bill Eadie?
Yeah. So you know what Bill Eadie said?
Fucking lady? Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, what proceeded to happen was an ass whooping. I know he just kept headbutting the fuck out of that guy. You remember that? He wrapped his hands around that damn long ass raggedy hair of his and go, gang!
I remember Bill going up to the referee too and saying, "Don't end the match." No matter what you see. The referee said,
"Who was he? Apollo?"
"Okay, throw the damn towel, man."
Throw the towel. All right, give me a good one, man. I got some good ones on Twitter. I'm trying to fucking sift through them though.
Let me see. Was it? That is it.
All right, somebody said, I don't even care about these questions. It's always, how do you feel about Antonio? Great wrestler. How do you feel about this guy? Great wrestler. How do you feel about this guy? Good wrestler. I don't care.
Do they think you're going to go in here and knock somebody?
Somebody wants me to put over Earth Ruler on Comicsology, so go check that out. Do you think Oswald killed Kennedy?
No.
Nope. Not really big on that little bullshit theory either. So anyway, when is my son starting in commercials? I need to get a little.
Get an agent.
I need to get him a job, don't I? Get that little punk a job. Pictures of me backstage at SmackDown. Any chance of a return? At that particular time, I was just visiting. You never know what the future holds. But right now, I'm having fun doing what I do. Anyway, that's all I got, man. I ain't answering more of these questions. I need to do this and then write them down.
Oh, I got a question for you.
Oh, shit.
Come on.
All right.
The year 1997. The city, Montreal. Work or shoot?
I'm going to give you this answer. And there's a guy that's got a DVD.
I know. That's why I asked you, because I saw
I'm just sick of talking about it. That guy wants me to talk about it. I don't care about it. I think at the time it was a shoot. I think some of the stuff in its wake has been a bit of a work. I think at the time it happened that it was a shoot.
You don't think Brett was in on it?
I don't think so.
I don't know how I feel. I'll put it this way: if he was,
because I don't think Vince would ever do anything to help WCW.
Do you? I'll put it this way: if Brett was in on it,
mm-hmm.
those motherfuckers are damn sure keeping it a secret.
Yeah, and I just don't care about it. Like at this point, I just don't give a fuck if it was good. I think if I found out today that it was a total work, I'd be like, good.
That was good.
Yeah, fine.
You had me.
Yeah, you had me. I wouldn't lose sleep. I wouldn't fucking change my shoes. I wouldn't do anything.
You would be like, damn it.
I just don't give a fuck about it. Yeah, I mean, it was 97, so it's a long fucking time ago, and I don't care.
Yeah, and if, like I said, if they were gonna ever come out with that, when everybody fucking saw it's dead.
Don't care either way. That's all I got. That's all I got on that. May 25th, OmegaChampionshipWrestling.com. We couldn't think of a longer name for that website. But OmegaChampionshipWrestling.com. You can find them on Facebook, where it's Omega Pro Wrestling, I believe. Or Omega Wrestling or something like that. Anyway, May 25th, East Wake High School in Wendell, North Carolina. The Wendell, Knightdale, Raleigh area. Main event, Matt Hardy, the Hurricane, against C.W. Anderson and Steve Corino. We got Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander from Ring of Honor.
We got is she still the NWA?
NWA Women's Champion Casey Carlisle against Rebby Sky. The Chiva Kid against Trevor Lee. The Chiva Kid, though, has been unmasked, so we're not going to show what's going to happen with that. Does he show up? Does he still put the shit on? I don't know. Who else is on this show, man? We got some Gambinos. We got some Preston Quinns. We got this guy. We got that guy. And the other guy.
Adam Page.
Adam Page. I just saw him backstage at SmackDown.
Oh, was he there?
Yeah.
Did he wrestle?
Nope. Well, I don't know. I didn't stay for the show. I just was there and out.
Who is Chris Escobar?
I don't know.
CW was telling me.
Is he kin to Eric Escobar?
Is that the drug dealer?
No.
Uh,
Not that I'm aware.
That's Pablo Escobar. They killed him. No, CW tells me that he's really good, and I saw him post something on Facebook that he had some tryout matches or something on this last TV loop.
I don't know. Can't tell you. Steve Walters was backstage as well. He was on the last show that we did, the Chin Light for Chuck show. So.
Is he the one that just went to Japan not too long ago?
Yep.
Is he? You don't know if he was working or if he was just soliciting.
I have no idea what was going on.
Was he wearing wrestling gear?
Actually, they were dressed up like security guards.
So does that answer that question?
So there you go. Anyway, that's all we got for now. We're gonna try to have a guest next week. I might take my laptop on the road and do a show this week, and I haven't decided because this is a big fucking thing. That's why I don't carry it around no more. Look at the size of this gimmick.
Yeah, that fucking thing's huge. Now look, why are you on my ass about my damn phone and you're still sitting over here with a PC?
Hey man, because this motherfucker was free $99.
So you basically
This was
can't beat the
sponsor. This
price.
was a sponsorship deal. This motherfucker
So you're
still
saying if I buy you a brand new MacBook, you'll use it?
bam, make it happen. And make it a little bit smaller that way I can take it on the road.
Outstanding.
You know what I'm saying? Sponsor this shit. Mike Howe. Help a brother out.
Sponsorship.
Anyway, that's all we got. See you guys very soon. Twitter, ShaneHelms.com. Twitter, Big Daddy Mike Mav. Man, we need to change that shit.
We could have come up with a longer name for that Twitter account.
Hell yeah. And are we out?
I guess we're out.
Heaven forbid.
It's hot.
There's a girl up in my sheets, don't know her name anymore.